He told me nobody ever taught him this, and that's the reason his walking never improved. My name is Tala Wickman. I'm a doctor of physical therapy, and I help stroke survivors improve their walking, strength, and balance using the walk method. One of the biggest mistakes after a stroke is not learning to load the affected leg early. I had a patient recently who told me that I was the first person through all of his rehab to tell him to push through that side and to trust it. Maybe he had heard it before, but not like this. We worked on it the entire session, and that matters. The first few months after a stroke are considered a really important window for neuroplasticity and relearning movement. That doesn't mean improvement can't happen later. It absolutely can, but early, high-quality repetition of weight bearing and walking can make a huge difference because the brain doesn't change from hearing something once. It changes with repetition. So when I see someone early on after a stroke, one of the first things I focus on is getting them to actually load that affected side. My patient's left leg was affected, but when he went to stand up, his right leg was completely tucked underneath him. He was avoiding putting weight through his left side almost entirely, and he needed assistance just to get up. It was clear he was relying almost entirely on his stronger side and really neglecting that left side. One of the first things I use is visual feedback. I'll place a mirror in front of my patient so they can see how they're actually sitting. A lot of times when I do this, they'll immediately start to correct themselves, and with him, that actually happened. But when he went to stand up, he still wasn't pushing through his affected side. So we needed something to force that left side to work. I had him place his left hand on his left knee with his right hand on top. Had him lean to the left and push up through that left leg as he got into standing. Some of the cues I gave him were don't let that right leg take over. Make sure you're pushing through the left side as you're standing up. It took some repetition, but by the end of the session, he was standing up without physical assistance, and both legs were underneath him rather than just having his right leg tucked back. And once he could actually load that leg during sit to stand, that started to carry over to his walking. We started walking with a walker, and even then you could see the same issue. He wasn't staying on that left leg. He would step onto it and immediately rush off. So we worked on slowing that down and staying on the left leg a little bit longer. I told him, shift your weight to the left and take a big step on the right. Slow it down and take bigger steps. As he got comfortable, we were able to take away the walker and he was able to take steps evenly for about 20 feet. This was a huge milestone for him as he had never done that previously. At the end of the day, nothing we worked on was complicated. It came down to one thing, learning to actually load and trust that affected leg. And once that started to happen, everything else began to improve. Standing up, balance, and walking. And this is the part I want you to take away. Even if it's been months or years since your stroke, your body and your brain can still improve, but it has to be the right kind of practice. You actually have to load that affected side instead of avoiding it. If you're working on walking after a stroke, which side feels harder to trust? Let me know down in the comments. I'll be making more videos like this to help improve your strength, balance, and walking.